we are now focusing on the primary xylem. That means this is during primary growth. This is in young growing plants. So I put there primary xylem, I put there young growing plant. So you must address it as young, you must address it as growing plants and not just plants. Okay, because you do not see it in all plants. When the plants are mature, you don't get that. So in young growing plant, okay, so you have the primary xylem. Primary xylem can be classified into protoxylem, all right? So you have now protoxylem. So you must know what's a protoxylem, and you have a metaxylem. Okay, protoxylem and the metaxylem. So in protoxylem is the initial primary, xylem. Okay, initial primary xylem. Okay, this is metaxylem. Okay, so the xylem differentiates. Xylem differentiates into metaxylem, Okay, the xylem, that means you need to know that the protoxylem is the initial primary xylem. All right, okay. Now, once the initial stage is over, the xylem differentiates into what we call a metaxylem after the collapse of the primary of the protoxylem. The protoxylem will collapse, will be disintegrated, be broken down, and will be replaced in metaxylem. Of course, this will be done so gradually where you won't even see the collapse and the formation of the metaxylem. But your chronology, the sequence of event must be metaxylem is formed first initially, then after that your protoxylem is formed first initially, after that is your metaxylem. All right, the metaxylem is formed. Okay, now in metaxylem there is lignification. Okay, in protoxylem there is also lignification. So lignification occurs. All right, lignification occurs. So lignification occurs. So in both you have lignification. So both shows lignification. Now, another point you have to know. All right, xylem vessels and trachea. Xylem vessels and trachea. Tracheids of metaxylem have bigger lumen. Why? The plant is already matured, which means the plant is much bigger. Its requirement of water is much higher. Its demand for water is much higher. So the bigger lumen is a form of adaptation. Is necessary to transport more water and supply the plant with more water. To transport more water. All right. So you got to have that idea as well. Use it when necessary. Okay. Now on the other hand, your protoxylem is basically the xylem vessels and trachea. And tracheids have smaller or narrow lumen. Smaller lumen. So there is a difference there. So why am I highlighting this? Because remember the main problem, okay, in xylem is it is subjected to water pressure. So of course the metaxylem, all right, will be subjected to more water pressure than the protoxylem. So common sense and analysis, because it is transporting more water. It has a bigger lumen, transporting more water. Smaller lumen, transporting less. So the lignification in the protoxylem and the lignification in the metaxylem cannot be the same because they're subjected to different pressure. That means this needs a more, what we call more lignification. It requires more reinforced lignification than this. All right, this will explain to you why the lignification in the protoxylem and metaxylem are not the same. It explains that it's different. All right, okay. Now, so let's say this is the walls of the vessel. Okay, the walls of the vessel. Okay, walls of the vessel. Follow me carefully. Okay, I'm drawing. This is the end-to-end fusion, walls of the vessel. Okay, now you will find the lignification is not throughout the walls. It is not throughout the walls. you must understand as the water is transported, there needs to be certain flexibility, all right, for the walls to move out a little bit more, to say a bit stretch out, to allow the flow of water. That in fact is an adaptation as well. So you'll find that the walls will curve in a bit. So curves in a bit. Okay. All right, just to show you that, so that you have all ideas. Ideas are very important. Now, one type of lignification is in the form of a ring. That means it is around here. Just a minute. Let me tidy this up. Okay. All right. So that's a bit messed up there. Okay. One type of lignification is around the walls. So I put here a dotted form. Okay. This is what we call annular thickening. Annular thickening. So this annular thickening is lignified thickening. So I can put it annular lignified thickening. Annular. So you know it's all referred to the, it's referring to the deposition of lignin. Annular lignified thickening. Thickening. Right? This one refers to deposition of lignin. That means the lignin is not deposits of lignin. Okay? So the lignin is not deposited throughout. Okay, so this is what. So, all right. Next, you have this. Then you have this. Okay, and you have a spiral form of thickening. It spirals down. Okay, so this is spiral thickening, or sometimes we call it helix. You have that. Okay, that's another form of thickening. So it's also deposits of thickening. They are on the walls. Yeah, it looks as if it's coming out of the walls. No, okay, it's all on the walls, on the surface of the walls, on the surface of the walls. Now, in metaxylem, it is even more pronounced. In metaxylem, it's even more pronounced. Okay, in metaxylem, it's even more pronounced because you need a bigger thickening. This is where you have what we call pitted thickenings. Okay, thickenings more pronounced, more on the walls. Okay, more on the walls, more widespread. Okay, so these are pitted. Okay, yeah, pitted thickenings. Okay, this is one. These are all lignified deposits. Remember, these are all lignified deposits which I'm showing you, which is showing the various lignification and why they are different. Okay, so you can see that's a pitted ones. Okay, and then you have what we call scalariform thickening, like that. Scalariform thickening. So I'm using different color to show you that. Not pitted, huh? Looks like almost like pitted, actually not. There's different. This is called scalariform. Okay, this is pitted, huh? The liquid deposits. This is scalariform. All right. And then the final type of lignification, all right, orientation is You have it, it's called reticulate. Okay, you have reticulate. So which one? Something like this. Okay. This is reticulate. They're all lignin deposits. Okay, they're all lignin deposits. This is reticulate. Reticulate. Okay, that's reticulate. Reticulate. Endoplasmic reticulate. This is scalariform. Scalariform. This is Peter. All these are lignified thickening. All the one of it. Okay, lignified thickening deposits. Okay, all right. This is for metaxylem. This is protoxylem. You can clearly see this is more reinforcement because the lignification is more widespread, stronger because it carries and transport more water.